Welcome to Fantasy Game Plan with Reno 97 and the fantasy guru Joey D.
Hey guys, this is a little bit different from what we usually do. This is Fantasy Game Plan. Yeah, Fantasy Game Plan. Unscripted, off the cuff, talking fantasy football. You can come here and get your weekly tips, all that you need from fantasy football. Now I'm a player, bringing in a player's perspective. We got the guru over here, Joey D.
That's right.
First time I got in was last year. Now I'm hooked, baby. So hopefully I can bring some of my expertise.
What you have here is you have the dynamic of an ex-NFL guy and a schlub from Jersey. Notre Dame grad, St. John's grad, but both with a passion and love for fantasy football.
That's it, man. That's it.
I turned Ronaldo on to his first year last year.
Yep.
Right out the gate, gangbusters, scoring the most points, loving life, picked too many Saints, made a couple of trades, he got into it, so it was a good year.
I tell you what, man, one thing about it, man, I was hooked. I could, man, take away from my family time, man. I'm out and I'm changing, making trades. I didn't know it was so addicting, man. And then, you know, I get Maurice Jones-Drew, man. Of course, I played for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I go to Jacksonville, and the only thing's on my head is Maurice going to play another game? So I go in the locker room. I'm like, man, is Maurice? Hey, MJD, what's up, man? It's your boy Ronaldo, man. I got one question, man. You playing this week? He said, man, I can't tell you that, man. You're going to spoil the whole fantasy deal, man. He didn't play the rest of the year, man. All you had to do was tell me that, man, you know?
And MJD's a fantasy guy. He's into fantasy, he's into his stats, he's into talking to the public about how he does. But I was interested to see an ex-player and if he'd be interested in playing, and he was, and he did pretty good for your rookie year.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I came in, what, top 5?
Well, I think you top 5, but you're first in scoring.
Yeah.
So
that's
what we're gonna do. We're gonna kick it with some ideas, give you some advice. We can talk about whatever we want. We can talk movies, music, entertainment, but mostly fantasy football. And get ready, draft day's coming.
And I think the thing of it is, guys, if you guys got any questions, we're going to have our Twitter handles. We're getting that situated right now. If you guys got any questions you want to ask us about fantasy on a weekly basis, whatever we can do, we got the inside, baby. We got the inside scoop for you guys. Let us know. Come on the website, gameplanforlife.com, or our Twitter handles. We'll get that situated soon.
Absolutely.
Guys, let's talk about the draft coming up. Most people are getting ready to start their draft. Give them some draft advice.
Well, I tell you one thing, and we almost caught it because we're going to start our second year. Gibbs Me a Break Fantasy League here at Joe Gibbs Racing. We almost had to have our draft too early. Our draft was supposed to be the day Brady got hurt. So imagine that. We're sitting drafting, and the point is this: don't have your drafts too early. You can't have it second week of August, third week. You got to go last week of August, first week of September. It's tough to get guys scheduled. Schedules are crazy, but the very first tip: if you're forming a league for the first time, don't have that draft too early because of injuries.
So what do you think too, Joey D? You know, the director right here, he's got the first pick of the draft this year.
That's right.
You know, he came in last year, but this year is a new year, right? Right?
It's a new year. That's what's great about fantasy football. Not like being a pro guy for you,
right?
13 years.
Right,
13 years?
13 years, bro.
Fantasy football, it all goes away at the end of the year. You start anew. Crawdaddy's our director back there.
All right.
Came in last place last year. First pick this year, so he's got a shot at redemption.
What do you do with the first pick? Is that pressure? I mean, you trade that thing away? I mean, what do you do with that, man?
Last year, it wasn't any pressure. It was a clear-cut number 1, number 2, number 3. This year is a lot of pressure. Arian Foster, another year older, injury-prone now. Adrian Peterson had a crazy year last year.
Right.
Unbelievable. Will he repeat that? You lost Percy Harvin. Quarterback situation there is a little shaky. You don't know.
You got Peyton Manning, though, with all the weapons that he has. I mean, you know, he's coming back from a year where people didn't really want to touch him. Had a great year, man.
Well, that's what I've seen in other leagues I played in. Guys who gambled last year's draft on Peyton Manning, they gambled on Adrian Peterson. Those guys won their league championships. Sometimes you gotta roll the dice. You gotta take a gamble on some of those picks.
What about a guy that has maybe a last pick? You know, is he just out of the water? Is he just done? No hope? I mean,
no. I mean, you can win from any draft spot. The thing I like to see, and I've been playing fantasy football since '97.
Man, you're a vet.
97, back in the days where we used to get the USA Today box scores, we used to do it manually. That's how much of a geek I am at that stuff. I mean, I was I had a band. I've been playing ever since. But it doesn't matter where you pick from. Just make sure you get a quality. Your first couple of picks have to be solid. They can't be misses.
Right.
You win your championship in the later rounds of the draft. Your first couple of picks have to be solid.
Well, I think that should do it for another segment with fantasy game plan this week and next week.
That was our first segment.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. That was our first segment. So next week we have another one, right?
Absolutely.
What are we going to talk about next week, guys?
Well, next week we get into the nuts and bolts. Draft strategy, if you really should have one.
Yeah.
You know, people go in, just a little preamble. People go in and have a strategy. You don't be married to a certain strategy, because I've seen it time and time again. You go in there thinking you got your sheets, you got your thoughts, and the draft doesn't unravel the way you think it's going to unravel. And then you get all nervous, then you make mistakes. You got to go with the flow sometimes. So we'll talk about that.
Yeah. Sounds good. All right.
Can we get a closing, Ronaldo?
Hey,
Reno
man.
97. Come on, close them out.
We got to think of a little thing we could do. Maybe it's a little bit of it.
Hey, sometimes the bling hurts, baby.
No bling here.
Hey, but that's closing out for Reno 97 and
Joey D. We'll do this. There you go.
all right.